beautiful. Of course I do. I'm a princess and this is my tiara.
Well, you knew her as Blossom, and now she plays Amy Farrah Fowler on the hit sitcom The Big Bang Theory. But did you know that Mayim Bialik is a big proponent of attachment parenting? She's just one of a number of Hollywood stars that have made headlines on this issue. In fact, Mayim Bialik has written a book about attachment parenting called Beyond the Sling. Attachment Parenting International was founded 17 years ago by two educators and mothers who wanted to raise awareness about the profound significance of secure attachment. Stephanie Petters is with the organization, and she joins us here this morning. Stephanie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You saw the cover of Time magazine. I just have to get your thoughts when you saw it hit newsstands.
My thoughts were that it was just very strategic of Time of how they want to sell their magazines.
And you thought it was done just for shock value?
I wouldn't say
shock. Did you like it? Do you like that people are talking about it? Do you like that it did come across as shocking to a lot of people?
I wouldn't say that it was a like. I would say that I like that it was coming out and bringing to fore that there is attachment parenting, a new family, not really a new family philosophy, but the ones that's been around there.
Do you think people saw that magazine cover and immediately looked at your way of lifestyle and your way of parenting as negative?
I think it did initially provide that, but then I think as people will go into the magazine, they'll see that it's not.
And people were talking about it, as we're talking about it here. And it really is good to have you here, because I think a lot of people may even be confused about what exactly attachment parenting really is, because there's several parts, there's several components into what that kind of philosophy and lifestyle is, isn't there? Right? Okay. You have one child, and you breastfed your child till about what age?
3.5.
3.5. Now listen, Stephanie, there are some parents out there, there are a lot of, or people out there who would say, you know what? You don't need to breastfeed after infancy, because there's a lot of food and nutrients and breast milk and stuff that already have the nutrients that babies need. So why the need to continue to breastfeed a toddler when they're 3.5, 4 years old?
Well, I know that there's a bunch of antibodies in the breast milk that actually goes beyond the 1-year-old stage. I also know American Pediatrics recommends all the way up to 2 years and beyond. So it was just something that was mutually, that we weren't ready yet, and that when we came to the stage of being ready, it was very gentle and a nice goodbye to it at this stage.
All right. Part of attachment parenting is also allowing the child to sleep in the same bed as mom and dad. Correct?
Yes, called bed sharing.
It's called bed sharing. Stephanie, some people would say there's a lot of issues involved here. When does that child learn to be independent? That child's got to learn to sleep in their own bed. And doesn't that create a pattern, or a bad pattern, as that child grows older?
I don't think so. I think if anything, it teaches your child security and knowing that you're going to be there for them when they're at their developmental stages. So my daughter, she slept in our bed till she was around 4, and it was a general transition to where when she was ready, it was very gentle, to where she looked at it and she didn't feel like there was any insecurity in the nighttime. She didn't have nightmares. She didn't cry at, that we weren't there. We still responded to her. Even now, we have little campouts in the room where she's on her own bed. And she looks forward to it. She's just really excited to have those campouts, and that's such a memory that we're going to have, that if we wouldn't have been able to share bed sharing, then we wouldn't have that wonderful time period.
All right, so some people would listen to that and say, okay, that sounds reasonable, right? That makes sense. What about Dad? And does Dad ever get lost in the mix here? Because Dad, I assume, at some point could sit there and be like, start to get a little jealous of the kid. I want some mommy time for Dad.
Right.
Isn't that a possibility?
Well, attachment parenting is all about the whole family unit. So I know in our family, Dad was very much involved. When he was ready to say, you know what, the bed sharing is not working anymore, I'm getting kicked, I'm not, it's not comfortable, it's not working for me.
Moment, one-on-one time with Mom.
Well, it wasn't so much that, because me and my husband, when she goes to sleep, we're able to spend, and we were able to spend enough time with each other where there wasn't no lack of time together. So it was just when he was ready to say, I'm not comfortable with this anymore, that we're like, okay, let's start transitioning her into where she can start looking into her own bed.
And how was that transition?
It was very gentle. I mean, she looked at it, she saw her bed in her room, and we kind of talked about Daddy's not getting as much sleep, so we need to kind of look at daddy's needs as well. And she understood. And she started slowly going into her room. It was a process. And I would say it took a year or two. You know, she'd kind of look at it, have fun with it, then come back, look at it, have fun with it, then come back, until she got to the point where she was all the way in the bed and it was hers.
All right. We have about a minute left. If you had a chance to kind of, you know, tell parents and tell people about attachment parenting, do you think this is something that will be socially acceptable anytime soon? Or do you think this is always going to be something as a mom versus mom issue, other moms versus moms?
I think it's something that as people start learning to listen to their instincts with the families and start realizing that we all have the same goal, we're just have different ways of achieving it, that it will start becoming less of not something that's extreme, but something that is more acceptable and much more nurturing to our families.
All right, Stephanie Petters, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. The whole nation talking about it since this cover on Time Magazine, but I guess for your sake and for other people who believe in this type of lifestyle, it's good to have the conversation so
Yes,
that, you know, you
it
can
is.
go in public without having people look at you as doing something wrong.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Thanks for being here. Coming up, we're going to be taking a closer look at breastfeeding. A local pediatrician weighing in on the benefits of breastfeeding your child. Stay with us.